Thank you, Chris, Francis, and Ian for having me today and being able to share my experience. Ooh, can I go? Yes, fantastic. Great. So Maria Madonna, or Marialucia Madonna, if you wish, Senior Group Customer Experience Manager. I lead the customer service team and the fraud and payment team. This means I supervise all the inbound contact in customer service, all channels, SLA, and KPIs. I also obviously represent the voice of customers, so I make sure that all of these amazing and valuable data are then analyzed and sent to the relative stakeholders to make sure that we do something about that, right? And then I also lead the fraud and payment team, so everything that is payments, fraud, internal and external fraud, including lost in transit investigations. And I also supervise and lead all the innovation projects. So today I am taking you to a journey that actually took us more than 2 years about everything, right? So we try to innovate, enhance whatever we had to make sure we got ready for peak in 2023, again in 2024, and again this year. Firstly, let's start with who we are. So for whoever doesn't know AllSaints, we are a British contemporary fashion brand. We are over 30 years now. We celebrated our 30-year anniversary in 2024. We have more than 200 stores with 2 upcoming stores in London, in Battersea and Stratford, so check them out. 6 studios. One of them is in Liverpool Street in Spitalfield, and one of them is in New York. More than 2,200 team members, 50 business partners. So whenever we can be in a mainline store presence in somewhere, we have concession partners, franchise, licensing. We also have a global digital presence. So we ship everywhere in the world to more than 150 countries through 3 distribution centers. One in Kent for the UK and rest of the world, one in the Netherlands for Europe, and one in Chicago for US. And we partner with 5 courier partners. Now, who we are is nothing without values. And we do have within the company, everybody in the company, doesn't matter if it's the finance team, if it's the reception, if it's customer service, legal, everybody keeps these 4 values at the heart of everything we do. The first one is the customer is the boss. We want to make it as easy as possible for customers to enjoy our brand. When they visit our stores, when they go onto our, on our website, when they check out with us, and also after the purchase, or when they get in touch with my teams. The second one is one team. We don't work in silos, we all work together, and we try to cooperate to make sure that we achieve the same goals. We do what we say we do, so we pay attention to details. And also we try to work with pace and productivity, which is very important to deliver our goals. And we are responsible. We are responsible to look after each other, to look after our customers, our suppliers, and the planet. There are lots of initiatives you can find on our website in terms of the environment. Now, how I translated this in my departments is the way we move. Customer first, always. So customer is the boss, but I have different kind of customers. We have the customer on the other side of the checkout, the store visit, the phone call or email, but I also have my internal customers. My team is my customers eventually, right? And I need to make sure that they come first in every decision I make, every enhancement, every innovation project. The second one is agility and ownership. We need to react quickly, so we need to have that sense of urgency in resolving anything and reacting, but also taking ownership. If we know there is a problem, we need to find a solution. If we know that something is working, how can we make it even better and enhance it? And continuous improvement. So all of this eventually goes into improving whatever we already have. Now, 2023. Very challenging for us. We kind of like were, and we have been in 2 years. Everything I'm going to say, it kind of like covers from 2023, and some of the things recently kind of like have been a challenge for me, or for us as a company. We started with restructuring our team, and this happens every now and again in every company, right? You try to reallocate your resources, you try to utilize them better. On top of that, we also acquired John Varvatos, a company in Detroit, now in New York, in 2020. So we had these two companies working together as sisters, and we started shared services. So customer service is cooperating in John Varvatos and AllSaints, and both teams work for both of them. Another challenge is operating hours. Before COVID, we were 24/7. We were Monday to Sunday, all day long, all night long. Things have changed. So after COVID, we started being 7 days a week, 365 days, but with limited operating hours. Recently, we limited that even more. So we are now 6 days a week. We are closed on Sunday, which is super well received by the team, with 3 bank holidays closed for customer service. For the first time, I think 2 years ago, we started being closed on Christmas Day, then New Year's and Easter Monday. So my team can finally enjoy, myself, can finally enjoy Christmas with our families and friends. Hours of service, so we were 24/7 at the beginning, then we started 9 a.m., midnight UK time, just to make sure we were covering our global market, so North America. Now we are 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. So there is this gap of 11 hours during the night where actually my team is not there. Reliance on other resources. This is something that I think every company has. You rely on your IT, you rely on your digital team, you rely on your legal team, and there are red tapes and you need to wait for them to do something. I spend most of my time waiting for someone to give me a green light on something, right? But also, we had reliance on other resources. We had a project called Project 500, Retail 500. In 2 years, we trained 500 people from our stores across UK, US, and Europe to make sure not only that they were more knowledgeable, but that we could use them to support in customer service whenever in store it wasn't that busy. Amazing project, a win-win for everyone, but again, another reliance, because sometimes they couldn't support, we couldn't count on them, so there was always this kind of like hunger game on people to use. And no automation whatsoever. Before 2023, we had no automation in any part of our company, and especially in my department. Regardless all of this, we are still a multi-channel contact center. We are still a global brand. So definitely these were all challenges. Now, we said, I have two kind of like set of customers. Let's see the challenges in the customer journey. No more 24/7. And this for a global brand with customers in North America, Singapore, China, Japan is definitely a challenge. Reply time. Off-peak wasn't that bad, but during peak we went up to 2 weeks reply time, which for a where is my order or how can I return something bought in store seems quite too long. Delayed resolution, of course, if we can't reply in 2 weeks, obviously, this delays even more the resolution in anything customers are getting in touch for. Zero post-purchase strategy. We were making so many efforts in gaining customers, making them happy, enhance our website, making the checkout very smooth, but after they checked out, they were kind of like left alone, right? We were shipping the order and we were leaving this with our courier partners to communicate with them on where the parcel was, which is quite a sensitive topic, I would say. So confusion over where is my order, where is my return? And I think this is one of the top reasons for contact, especially over peak. Where is my order? I returned something, where is my refund? And there was confusion, right? Because we had DPD communicating something, then we have DHL, then we have globally in all Europe and rest of the world, and everybody was using different terminology. Some of them were using SMS, some of them email, so it's kind of like a disconnection in communication. We were reactive, fair enough, which is a very good skill to have for customer service, I would say vital, but we were not proactive. So we were just trying to survive, and every peak was like, okay, let's try to survive until January. So we felt that. This was for the customer journey, but this is what the team on the other side was also feeling. unscalable volumes. Our conversations tickets were going up significantly during peak. So you could see numbers going up very quickly at the launch of our promotions just after Christmas ended for the return policy, etc. SLA not met. We were very proud of meeting all of our SLAs off peak. Well, when it was peak time, it was like, okay, we are not actually doing what we are supposed to do. Backlog. And I'm telling you, if for a manager the backlog is overwhelming, is as overwhelming for team members. I still remember my team members coming to me saying, Maria, we're doing our best, but the numbers just don't go down, and it's quite frustrating, right? Manual workload allocation. We were using a CSM system where all of my team leaders has to manually allocate emails. Live chats were coming automatically, phone calls were coming automatically and assigned to whoever available, but emails had to be allocated manually, which is something on top of whatever they had to do. So I was distracting my team leaders from basically looking after customers and the team. In a manual and unnecessary internal workload. How many spreadsheets do we have, all of us here? How many systems, and we need to manually connect and get information from one system to another one. And all of this resulted into team fatigue. So we were coming up in like January completely exhausted. Now, in 2023, but these were also kind of like a few things that we addressed after that, we kind of like sat down and we said, okay, we need to work on priorities because there is definitely something we can do. The first, and I think the biggest priority in 2023, and it was August 2023, we were like, okay, we need to work on take the panic out of peak. Peak comes and for some reason, peak comes every year. You know what to expect, but then it's always different. There is always something different. There is always something that has changed in the company, has changed in the customer behavior. So there is always panic. You know what can go wrong, and it will. And you also know that something unknown will go wrong. So we had to take out this panic of peak. Avoid repetitive inquiries. Where is my order? Where is my return? How can I return? These are top 3, 100% top inquiries, reasons for contact during peak. Provide a 24/7 service. Again, we had a huge chunk of our customers that were getting in touch with us, needing support, responses, answers, and we were just not there. Reduce manual workload, which again, it doesn't necessarily seem something you want to address right away because there is no customer on the other side waiting, but your team is still working and probably spending time on that. Increase self-service for customers and for the team members. After all of this and kind of like setting our priorities straight, we came up with some solutions. And these solutions came in more than 2 years' time. The first one was DigitalGenius. So our priorities, number 1 was we need to deflect easy top drivers, things that my team don't necessarily need to see, right? We have lots of customers who get in touch with us on things that we already have on the website, on the FAQs. But customers are buying from so many different brands, they don't want to go on each website to find out the answer. They want to get in touch with someone to tell them what to do. So the first one was deflecting FAQs inquiries. If it's on the website, there must be a way to let the customer know related to their particular inquiry. Promo code not working. And this is another one, right? During Black Friday, we are in promotion, no promo code will work. But customers will still get in touch saying, why is my promo code not working? Price match. I bought this 2 days ago and now you are in promotion. Can I have a price match? Again, an easy deflective topic that we could have resolved easily, but was still there for my team members. And DigitalGenius acted very quickly on this. After a while, we also wanted to automate and deflect top drivers that actually required an action from our side. So we integrated with Parcellab, At the beginning, when we have an OMS system, when shipping the order, this then was sent via DPD in the UK, DHL rest of world, globally for Europe and rest of world, UPS. So they were like different kind of like stakeholders, if you wish, or partners. At the beginning, DigitalGenius helped us with, oh, there is a typo, with where is my order, where is my return, just connecting to the OMS system and then to the different courier partners. I did a very huge job just to align the terminology of what delivered means, of what left in a safe place means for all of them. So it was a big work, but we already saw a lot of deflection there. After a while, in October last year, we integrated to Parcellab. Parcellab connects all of your couriers together, and in one place you have the entire journey of the parcel after you shipped it until the customer receives it, sending also communication to customers. There is an easy return platform, and DigitalGenius at this point needs to go to the OMS system. If the order is shipped just to Parcellab, will have all the information they need. So again, a quicker, faster way for us to do that. Order cancellation. There were lots of customers like, I made a typo in the address, or I ordered the wrong size, or you know what, I realized I won't be home, so I will just go to the shop down the street and just buy it. So there were lots of customers who were requesting a cancellation of the order. If they were emailing us or getting in touch via live chat at 2 o'clock in the morning from the US, nobody was there. DigitalGenius kind of like filled that gap, because DigitalGenius is now connected to our OMS system, checks the order. If the status is the right one, will automatically cancel the order, refund the shipping fees, and just confirm this back to the customer. So obviously, much better journey for the customer, much better also experience for us. Third one, proactive and aligned communication to customers. First one is FAQs, and this is where we also integrated to Dixa. Dixa is our CSM system, working super well with DigitalGenius. They're very well connected. So all the FAQs are very easy to manage, and all the FAQs are straight connected to DigitalGenius and generative AI, which I will talk to you about later. But not only this is something that kind of like makes more transparent the communication to customers, we also acted with Parcellab. As Parcellab put all the couriers together, can proactively communicate to customers, your order has been shipped, is on its way, will be delivered tomorrow between this hour and this hour. There was a delay. We also have exception managing with Parcellab, where they tell the customer every problem, which could be weather condition, it could be it has been misrouted, so there is no gray area, and customers don't necessarily need to get in touch with my team. Fourth is automating internal and manual processes. We had courier investigation launch. The way we set up the lost in transit process was a customer got in touch with my team. They identified, okay, clearly is a lost in transit. Then they were sending a declaration form to the customer to fill out. The customer was sending a declaration back, and then we would manually start an email investigation with our courier partner and waiting for them to reply. This could take up to 10 working days. And imagine for Billy, who is trying to buy a gift for his girlfriend because it's their anniversary tomorrow and he forgot, this could be a problem. So what we did is to connect DigitalGenius and Dixa. DigitalGenius goes through the where is my order, identifies the lost in transit, creates already a declaration form for the customer, sending it to Dixa, and Dixa and DigitalGenius create automatically an investigation, sending it to the courier, saving lots of time for us. The only thing we need to do is to chase the courier, review the case, and decide the outcome for the customer. Other one is workload allocation and channel coverage. Another problem again, manual allocation of tickets, which was a big investment of time. With Dixa, everything is automatically allocated by the system. If you are in capacity of some of your team members on the phone, some of your team members on live chat, some of your team members in emails, it consistently sends tickets given the priority you gave the system, given the time frame you gave the system to do. So you literally, we never touched the queue. We hadn't touched the queue after that. Now, when I started my AI journey, I found it very difficult to refer to AI as AI. For me, they had to have a name. For me, they had to be part of the team. And I think that choice was very pivotal for the team to accept AI within my team, right? Within my company. So this is our AI automation approach. We had Milo, the live chat bot, created in September 2023. A month after, in October 2023, Emma, which is the email bot. Then a few months after, June 2024, Jenny, which is generative AI, and literally about to be created now in October 2025, we have Gemma, which is Jenny and Emma together, which is generative AI via email. Nice names, aren't they? Now, I asked ChatGPT, I gave ChatGPT a description of what each of my children do for me. And this is the picture that ChatGPT gave me for Milo, for Gianni, and for Emma, kind of like representing how they are. And I'm telling you, the team is crazy about the names. The team is crazy about picturing them. Whenever there was a problem, they were like, oh, Maria, I think Milo messed up. Or Maria, I think Emma got it wrong. So they know exactly. We don't have to say it was the email, it was the live chat. They know exactly. If I say Milo, I know what you mean. If you say Emma, I know what you mean. So it was also an internal kind of like terminology, which made them feel part of the team. And they are very much part of the team. Now, to tell you more about my children, we have Milo, which is the agentic agent template-based live chatbot. I made this decision of starting with a template-based AI. It felt safer than generative AI. At the time, we wanted control. We were very cautious. We were like, okay, let's have something that you tell Milo what to do, and Milo will just do that without taking initiative. So Milo was a structured AI bot with bottoms. I literally create these topics at the beginning of the chat. Depending on which of the topics you were clicking on, there were subcategories, and then eventually there was an answer in a template. So you were giving the FAQs, if you wish, via some structured responses. Now, pros is it was a huge and very helpful exercise to rethink everything. And I will show you, when I had to do the mapping of Milo and how to structure it, it made me rethink lots of processes that have always been there. And then we were like, why are we even doing that way? So it was a very good rethinking of whatever we were doing within the company, within the department. Very well organized and consistent. Templates are always there. You always give the same information. There is nothing to worry about. And you have full control over the communication. Milo doesn't take over, doesn't say anything outside of what you told him to do. Cons can lead to some sort of more handover, if you wish. Obviously, I created the topic, and it was my reasoning and my ideas to put gift card under payment methods. But what if the customer wasn't expecting to find gift card under payment methods? So they were trying to find what they were looking for in different topics. So if the customer doesn't really understand your reasoning, because we are all different, this was leading to some frustration. This was leading to some, obviously, more handover. Maintaining info accuracy. The moment you have templates and you change anything, you need to go through all the templates to make sure that that information was not anywhere, and if so, you need to change it. Can feel impersonal. Obviously, it was so robotic, so pressing on buttons, that there was a lot of bias on this Milo, right? Then we had Emma, which was the same, more or less the same concept, but applied to email. Is an email agent, and it was using some sort of reasoning, so intent tagging, intent detection, but then firing templates. So if Emma was kind of like identify these inquiries about returns, I will fire the template on how to return. If the inquiry is about gift cards, I will fire this template. So it was kind of like a mix, if you wish. She was detecting the intent, but still very controlled. So again, full control over communication. Emma was not going nuts and saying things, but she was just saying what it was in the template. Cons, occasional intent misleading. As you know, an email from a customer can be very long, can have like 3 different problems that they want you to address. So that could be a limitation sometimes. And there is also via email, another problem is that there is no back and forth. So you have one shot, one opportunity, as someone said, and you have just, that opportunity to make sure you are addressing the problem. Then finally, Jenny came into my life, which is generative AI. Generative AI was, we started via live chat first. So after I had done all of that job on the mapping and stuff, I had to chuck it and just do generative AI. And is a conversational bot where there is no script, where there is no buttons to press, is literally, can you tell me this? Jenny goes into our FAQs or any other document we share with Jenny that she needs to know about, finds what is relevant, the top 3 most relevant articles, gets all the information and then responds back to the customer. Now, pros is that there is a direct integration with our FAQs. This means whatever we change, we need to change it just once. In the FAQs, Jenny will know. Is connected to our internal OMS system, so she still looks like Milo. She still looks into our OMS system, into Parcellab, and can go through where is my order, where is my return. Is friendly and human-like, if you wish, because if someone says, I Milo, because I will show you all of them are called Milo. I, Milo, have a good day. Jenny will respond, have a good day too. So it's kind of like way more conversational. Cons. Testing is very important because obviously there are prompts, there are guidelines, but you need to get them right. So obviously with Milo, I was safer in releasing Milo because I was like, he can't tell more than the templates. Jenny could potentially, right? So you need to make sure you test it. You need to make sure you control the environment as much as possible. And hallucinations, like every AI, which happen very rarely. Jenny is amazing. So everything, if you test it and if you prepare it enough, is very much controlled. This is the mapping I did for Milo. This is called the Miro board, and I spent with Marcella in DigitalGenius a couple of weeks in this board. So we literally remapped everything we had within our processes, saying, okay, this is where is my order. It leads to lost in transit automation. So this is where the flow starts, and this is what the Milo will say. And in case, this will create a lost in transit automation. So we literally had to remap every topic, saying if this happens, if the order starts with 3, if the order starts with 2, whatever, this is where the flow should go. This is the difference with Jenny. So that was Milo, kind of like just pressing buttons and giving you templates. This is my Jenny. So first of all, internally, we kind of like separate Milo, Emma, Jenny, Gemma. Externally, we just kept it Milo. Milo is one of our best sellers, is one of our leather jackets. So we just decided to call it Milo just for, for the brand. Obviously, we let the customer know right away, I'm the AllSaints bot, because I really believe in transparency, to let the customer know I'm a bot, but I'm here to help. So there is that kind of like reassurance already. As you can see, you can make some typos. I make so many typos. And in this example, I said, I want to start a return. How can I do it? Now, the beauty of Jenny is that she's already checking the articles, but she's also asking follow-up questions to make sure that she gives you the right information. So she asked me, was it an online order or in store? Because this will help me to provide you with the correct information. And I say online. Then she looks into the correct article in the FAQs. You can start your return by using the return portal. There is a link to the return portal, so the customer can just click and create it. And also giving guidelines, some guidance. Simply locate your order, select the items to return, and create a free return label. Let me know if you still need any help. And I'm like, thank you. Can I return items bought in the outlet section? Again, typos. Yes, you can return the item bought in the outlet section. Same return portal. So again, the link the customer can follow. So as you can see, it's kind of like very much a back and forth with Jenny. The beauty of it is now that I changed completely topic. So she was checking the FAQs for the return policy. I'm now, oh, you know what? I want to order a different item. I'm returning something, I want to order something different. And I want to order a Dalby leather jacket, but I'm not sure about the size. I'm in between 10 and 12. So what would you suggest? In this moment, Jen is checking on the PDP of our website in our size guides, and she's giving some sort of guidance to the customer just to make sure that they're doing the right thing when ordering online. So as you can see, quite easy to use from a customer point of view, but also quite easy to use when you set it up in the background. Another example I recorded is Jenny with Lost in Transit. The personal information you're about to say is my line manager. She gave me the permission to show you. Just don't call her personal number, please. So everything starts with, I didn't receive my order. So we are in a WISMO situation. Everything starts with a WISMO, because even if the customer said, I didn't receive it, Milo still needs to identify, is this a lost in transit or is still in transit? And depending on what Parcellab tells him, he will then reply. So firstly, I had to agree with the info security and legal team on how to validate a customer, data protection. So we go through 3 validation, which is order number, email address, and then either the postcode or the phone number. If all of them match with the order we have in our OMS, Milo is free to display the information. And they say, I found this order with the details, choose which item you need help with. So it's kind of like listing the items that were in the order. The customer says, is this one? Milo says, I can see that this was shipped and this was delivered as well. Are you sure that you didn't receive it? Customer says, no, I didn't receive it. We try to give some guidelines. Have you checked with your neighbors? Have you checked into a safe place? Have you checked the DPD app? Probably was sent to a pickup shop. After they say, no, I checked everything, I confirm is lost. Is lost the entire parcel, then I want to initiate a claim. So we also give them the opportunity to leave any other comments, even to share pictures, especially for damaged parcel. This is very relevant for our courier partners. So they literally do everything. Milo is taking the information of the order from our OMS, the additional information given from the customer, all of them wrapped up into a ticket open into our system. So we have a case number. And from them is initiating the claim, is checking everything, creating a claim, but also a sister linked ticket, which is the investigation to our DPD courier. Already knows everything, retail price, cost price, everything, getting everything from OMS and initiating the claim. After he does that, we give confirmation to the customer saying this might take up to 10 working days, and we already have started the process, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and my team is not there. Now, results. And this is over the years, I would say, but especially last year during peak and this year. Last year during peak, AI handled 45,000 contacts just in Q4. So we're just talking about November, December, January, yes, just in Q4. And this was AI only, not on top of the ones we handled, like human beings handled. 26K, and I pulled this probably a month and a half ago, 26K this year already. So we are talking about Milo through live chat and Emma via email. 50% deflection rate via live chat. And this is something I'm also working in enhancing. My goal by Q4 is 60% of deflection, which is pretty good over peak. This is live chat. Email is, we started from 0, went to 1, 2, now I'm at 3%. With email automation, I'm a bit cautious because it's something that I activate and deactivate as I wish. And this is part of my peak and off-peak plan. Live chat is always there and I always keep it on. Emma, sometimes I deactivate Emma whenever I don't need it off-peak. So I can have my agents replying to customers. Minus 50% on the first response time via live chat and email over peak. 50% of backlog, minus 50% of backlog during peak, and obviously faster resolutions and a happier team during peak. This was especially with Jenny, which we launched for peak last year, where my team literally told me, didn't feel as overwhelmed as it was in the years before. 40% more customer satisfaction, especially after Jenny, and I will show you the details of Jenny. And obviously, we are now 24/7. At any time, Emma can reply to an email. At any time, day and night, Milo is there over live chat. Also, weekends, we are closed on a Sunday. Also, the 3 bank holidays a year, we are closed. This is just Jenny. So obviously we already saw results with Milo, but when we activated Jenny, our deflection was plus 20%. Our CSAT went up by 26%, minus 15% of chat abandonment, and minus 17% of agent handover. There was less confusion, there was less frustration. They were getting the responses more or less that they wanted to. This one is actually a very recent, not very, I think it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on our Trustpilot. So this customer on Trustpilot put, I ordered the wrong sizes, I used the AI chat system the next morning, and it allowed me to cancel the order immediately and refunded my Apple Pay within minutes after. So it was basically Milo doing everything through live chat. Now, this is what we have been doing in the past couple of years, right? This is what I'm working on right now. So this is happening as we speak. And as said, the impact on my plan will be on my team and the impact on the customer journey. In terms of team, Dixa integration. So with Dixa, we have now a workload allocation completely automated, but also 100% of auto QA. During peak, one of my biggest problems is that I couldn't have the team leaders taking time to do quality checks. And this was something that we just dropped during peak. And we didn't know, are we doing the right thing? We have also temporary agents. Are they responding to customers as we want them to do? During peak only, off peak, I still have my team leaders doing random quality checks because I still want them to have that touch on the tickets. And there is also the calibration they can do with AI to see if they agree or they don't agree. There is disputes, etc. But during peak, 100% of our quality checks will be through AI with Dixa. And this is on everything. There is a call transcript, so Dixa can do quality checks on calls, live chat, and emails. Lost in transit automation. I'm taking this even further. So I am trying to integrate the lost in transit even more. At the moment, just whoever gets in touch with, Milo over live chat will be able to go through the where is my order and the lost in transit automation. Nothing, I'm so sorry. And the lost in transit automation. Whoever gets in touch via email or call still goes through my agent. They need to send a declaration form, they need to send an investigation email. What we are doing is to act on two different, we will have two different approaches. The first one is create a unique link that goes to the lost in transit flow only. So whenever a customer calls us saying, well, actually, I didn't receive my order, the agent will just identify the lost in transit, and instead of sending a declaration form, we'll send this link to Milo. Milo will do everything, all the checks and everything, open the investigation and open the claim. And via email, Gemma will do it via email. So we'll validate the customer, check the order, identify lost in transit, open the claim, and open the investigation. So we are automating 100% the lost in transit process. When it comes to customer journey, we have shipping and delivery delays. We are working with Parcellab and DigitalGenius, again, two different approaches. During peak, you will 100% have two different situations. Either the distribution center or store's fulfillment will ship late, so you can't guarantee next day delivery. So the distribution center will send me a list of 100 orders that won't make it for the next day delivery. We manually have to refund the shipping and tell the customer. With Dixa, and with DigitalGenius and Parcellab, this will be completely automated. So whenever there is a problem and we realize that we won't be able to ship it on time, Parcellab will just communicate to customers and DigitalGenius will just refund the shipping fees. So they don't have to get in touch with us at all. The other one, again, is DigitalGenius and Parcellab to chase the fulfillment center. Normally, during peak, we have every 2 days a waiting completion check. We go in our system, are there any orders pending? Who is not shipping the order? It could be fulfilled by several stores, so we need to chase them individually, or we need to chase our distribution center. Parcellab and Dixa will do this for us, so they will calculate, even if it's a standard delivery and hasn't been shipped on time, they will chase the fulfillment center directly, and then if there is any action we need to take for the customer, they will do it for us. Other one is generative email automation. I am activated Gemma all over the place. So Gemma will reply to FAQs, which most likely will be return inquiries. Wismo and Wismar, so she will, again, like Milo, go to our OMS system, check where is the order, where is the return, give the information, and go through the lost in transit if necessary. She will also cancel the order automatically and refund the shipping. And I'm also working on spam automation, not only via email, which is probably the easiest one to do, but via DMs. We receive lots of spam and business inquiries through the Instagram DMs. So this is another project I have with DigitalGenius and Dixa together. Now, last one, so we can have a coffee. Considerations. I tried to put together everything I think it was important, either because I did it or because I learned it too late. First one is whatever you're trying to do, getting ready for peak, automation, innovation, know your brand. There is nothing that fits everywhere or nothing that fits everywhere in the same way. So that's why I think my first slide was, this is who we are. Everything I've been doing, I need to remember, customers expect to get in touch with AllSaints. This is what they're expecting. So my Milo needs to be up to that standard, right? Because they are talking to AllSaints, and this is the idea they have of AllSaints. And also the customer journey. This is probably one of the mistakes I made at the beginning with Milo. I was in my office thinking, oh, it makes sense that I put this here, it makes sense that I put this there. And then I saw lots of abandoned chats or lots of handover. What I started doing was to do focus groups, saying, okay, where, as a customer, where would you expect to find gift card button? Where would you expect to find the return one? Because you need to take into consideration the customer journey and having that clarity for them. Plan and test. I am very well known in DigitalGenius for testing everything, like literally everything to death. And I honestly spend hours and hours and hours in testing. But I believe that all the work you put in the testing and the scope, it will pay off, like 100%, especially with generative AI. So that is something that you want to do in advance, but then you can just kind of like put the autopilot. Choose the right channel. Very weirdly, apparently, we started with live chat. Lots of companies start the automation with DigitalGenius with email. This is just based on your needs. It depends on what channel you want to automate, what channel you want to start with because it feels right for your brand. Where do you receive more contacts, or what kind of contacts you want to automate? Is it the low-hanging fruit and the top reasons for contact, or is it more complex contact that you don't receive as much, but it takes so long for your team that you just better automate them? Pick the right brain. We started with Milo, so a template-based system, then we moved to generative. What is right or what is wrong? Honestly, I would do that again. I would start with Milo first to have a very good idea of the mapping and the processes and everything, and then move into generative. The only thing I would do differently is probably start generative a bit earlier. I think we waited too much. We could have started a bit earlier. Think beyond customers. Again, don't think automation, innovation is just customer facing. How can you also benefit of these things internally for your own team? And we discussed manual workload, we discussed workload allocation, we discussed 1,000 spreadsheets, we discussed chasing the completion of orders. So how can you make this working better for you? Integration. Integration is pivotal. You need to have anything you want to start or you want to enhance, make sure that it links perfectly to your OMS system, tracking numbers, CSM, everything you have and will need to be there. So check the automation and the integration first. And also dependencies. As said, sometimes you will need your IT department to do something, your development department to do something, info security, which is the other one, data security, info security and legal. So try to make sure that you think of these things in advance before it's too late, and then they kind of like are a blocker for you. And pick an off-peak plan. I am an advocate of nothing should be the same peak and off-peak. Needs are different, volumes are different, kind of inquiries are different. So you probably want to work on a peak and off-peak plan just to make sure that you cover everything. And you also, when you start deactivating AI, you get back in touch with your customer's inquiry. And this will give you ideas for your next peak, so you know what you're going to face in 6-8 months' time. That's everything, really. I don't know if you have questions.
There is a time, an opportunity for questions. If anyone would like to ask Rory any questions, I can come around, or just shout, actually, I think everyone can hear. Any volunteers?
Oh, I have a question. How did you plan it in, I don't know how to phrase the question, but basically, like what I find with a lot of chat box is that they do ask a lot of like follow-up questions or clarifying questions, and I feel like that can sometimes just be like annoying as a customer.
Demotivating.
Like, yeah, because you're like, oh god. Like, did you have to like limit the type of clarifying questions that it asks?
I think it depends. There are certain topics you need to ask questions to be as specific as possible, because then you risk to give too generic answers that might be not necessarily efficient for the customer or even wrong sometimes. I think one of the best ways is if you have different websites. For example, we have a UK, we have a Europe, already the IP will tell you. So we have already, the first screen is the IP. So if the customer is on the UK website, Jenny will just display UK return policy. And this is already, you avoid all of that information.
Yeah.
What website are you shopping from? You know, these kind of things. And also in the reply, we'll make it clear for UK returns, this is the return portal, right? So this is already a way, especially for regional differences. Second, probably clarity in the FAQs. If you're starting generative, that connects to the FAQs, and this is something I had to do. Our FAQs before, they were very generic.
Yeah.
Once I started with Jenny, I had to be careful in rethinking my FAQ, saying, is Jenny going to understand? If Jenny reads this article and displays it back to the customer, is she going to understand that this is the information? So all the FAQs need to have, like, for UK, for US, so this already gives it more specific. So when also AI gives the information, it's clear in the answer, and the customer say, oh no, actually I wanted the US one. So this could be another one. And prompts, right? You can educate your AI saying, for these kind of questions, try not to ask too many details. For this one, it is essential that you ask this information. So I think you can probably play with this for things.
Yeah. Of course, thank you. I have another question. Can I ask another one?
Yeah, please do.
Sorry. Have you used it for like as more of a shopping assistant or not yet?
Partially. Jenny already has access to the FAQs. In the FAQs, we have a leather guide, aftercare, and size guide for certain, obviously, AllSaints is leather, right? So we have this kind of like specifics. The PDP already has the information of the item. We don't go into the specific like product recommendation or measurements yet. We do have other things that recommend products, but we don't do that. We haven't touched on that yet. We started this last year with Attila. We started, but then there were other priorities coming up, so we didn't really finish that as much. But yeah, something that is on our radar.
Thanks.
Anyone got a question for Maria?
When you went from 7 days a week for the team to 6 days a week, how did you make the decision of like how much to shrink it, and how did you get the approvals to be able to not do 7 days a week anymore? And how did that decision making process work?
I think AI was part of the reasons, right? I was able to pitch, look, we can afford to have the team or the customer service off on Sunday because AI is actually able to answer 90% of the questions. And even if AI is not, it's giving the reassurance, no worry, tomorrow my team, my human colleagues will be back and will come back to you. So I think it kind of like fell in a way where Saturday is still a busy day, even in stores, and I'm telling you, stores will get in touch with us quite a lot, right? Because we are customer service. They look at us like we are gods, and we have the answers to everything. So Saturday was a no-go, and we're like, no, Saturday needs to be there. But I think Sunday kind of like felt right in a way that, firstly, also kind of like the availability of the team. Whenever you have a team 7 days a week, you need to spread them so thin, with holidays, with days off, etc. So having that one day when everybody's off and you can then kind of like put them in the other 6 days felt right. I think innovation, I think better website experience, AI, kind of like made it easier to pitch, saying, you know what, you can actually do it, and I will show you that you won't feel the difference. Not sure if I addressed.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Just raise your hand if anyone else has a question. Yeah.
How do you deal with different languages in various different markets? Does she know? So
She
does?
She could. We
Okay.
decided not to do it
So
for now.
do you plug in a different translation kind of app, or how do you do that?
Jenny could potentially reply, and I tested her in Italian, French, Spanish, and German. She's great. Like, she could really speak those languages. We just gave her the prompt. In any language the customer replies, just reply back in English saying, I will support you in English. And also because we used to have different languages within our team, then we just align them in English. All of our customers are used to speak to us in English. Some German customers will send us something in German, but they are happy with the reply in English. So at the moment, Jenny has direction for myself to just reply in English, but potentially she could speak, and you don't have to integrate it to anything. It's kind of like native, and she can speak and mirror the language of us. Parcellab though has different languages. We decided for, I think it's called German, French, maybe just German and French to send emails in their own language.
I just ask why, as a follow-on to that, why you picked English as the default response to customers?
I couldn't answer. I think we have been doing this for such a long time.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it works. Like, we never had any language barrier with customers, especially because I'm telling you, if it's an Italian person, they will never call a British, they will never call a British number, so most likely will be an email. And it's very easy that they translate with Google Translator the email and then translate it back. So it makes it easy for everyone. We had very rare occasions I had to take a call or a help in French or in German or in Italian or in Spanish. Very rare occasion. We're in 2025. I think whoever decides to buy AllSaints, knowing it's a British brand, is also happy to kind of like speak in English. So yeah, I don't think we ever told on the why. It just happened. But definitely there is an element of shall we do that in the future.
Quick one. You've been able to sort of monetize the impact that this has had. So from how you perform, and obviously there's a lot of different things happening over 2 years, so it's lots of variables there. But the automations that you've applied, how's that impacted sort of maybe revenue and profit and efficiency of business, do you think?
I would say we haven't yet calculated the conversion, if you wish. And this is a project I have with DigitalGenius to check, okay, after someone spoke with Jenny, how is then the conversion rate? So we wanted to kind of like calculate Google Analytics, put Google Analytics and DigitalGenius together, which is something we haven't done yet. I would say efficiency, internal efficiency, definitely, because of the backlog, because of the team members, less temporary people. I would say the temporary agency is definitely something we saw reduced significantly, which is always a good sign in a sense that temporary agents are very high demanding and high maintenance. For 3 months, you need to train them. They will have 1,000 questions. They will do things wrong. So it's kind of like counterproductive sometimes. So I would say that is definitely one of the biggest wins for us.
Just to add to that, because I've heard from one of our customers who's actually in the room today, that they are trying currently to measure the impact that customer interaction has on retention and repeat rates. Don't know if you want to mention anything about that. Sorry to call on you as well.
No, it's okay. But yeah, I guess just trying to do it in general, partly to make a better business case for everything that I want to do, because in general, customer service teams, if you're trying to balance like, oh, it's going to save 3 weeks of my team's time a year, but it's going to take 2 weeks of a developer's time to do, that's never ever going to balance out. Whereas if we can say that actually like the conversion impact is higher or the repeat rate, that's like the language that pricks people's ears up internally.
Yeah. But I think it's everything, like even cancellation. If I'm able to cancel right away, most likely the customer will rebuy right away. Otherwise, they will need to wait to receive the order, probably ship it back, and by that time you probably lost the sale. So that could be one. Lost in transit, same, right? The quicker you refund them, the quicker they will buy again. So it's kind of like, I think there are different elements that you can then put together.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? No? Ian, do you want to ask any from that what was submitted?
Yeah, so one of the questions that was asked was how the team adapted to the changes.
I would say at the beginning when we mentioned AI, everybody was freaking out. Everybody's like, they're taking over my job and I will lose my job. And I think that's why the names, I think when I started not talking about AI, but I said, Milo, I'm creating Milo, this is Milo. I think this was already part of the reassurance, involving them in the decision-making process. I literally used my team to test Milo. And I was like, guys, this is Milo. Tell me how good it is. And they literally tested it and they had fun and they realized, they were like, okay, he's actually very good and he's doing what I don't really like doing, which is answering where is my order, where is my return, and how, how can I return things. So I think they saw the value because we kind of like, I involved them very much in the decision-making process, and with time, they very much appreciate Milo, Emma, Jenny, all of them, because I think they saw the value in now them being upskilled. They now finally are customer service specialists. They can reply to questions about design and about outfit and about, which is way more interesting than, yeah, your order has been shipped. It's kind of like one of those things. So yeah, I think there was a lot of bias at the beginning, like everywhere, right? But I think by now they're like very much appreciating.
And sticking with the team, someone asked, so how do you motivate employees during peaks without having to resort purely to financial rewards?
Difficult, right? Because the numbers are there. We ask them to do a lot. We are like, no, you need to do this amount of ticket. The performance, guys, take calls. We're missing calls. Is sometimes feels like very much fast paced and and it's not one day and it's not 1 week. I was talking to someone in the room and we were like, okay, for retail it's easy enough because by the 27th of December everything is over. Customer service, we start 1 week before, 2 weeks before Black Friday with the real volumes, and we don't finish up until the end of January. So you're asking these poor guys to basically do a very long marathon every day with those numbers, and always being positive, always being smiley, always. So it's kind of like a lot to ask. I would say first is keep the eye on the ball. Keep reminding them, why are we doing this? And also share positive feedback from customers. It's so rewarding. Every week, I ask the team leaders to review the bad CSAT and bad comments so they can kind of like check if something went wrong. And I then share with the team just the positive CSAT. And I literally say, Jenna, this comment was for you. Martina, this comment was for you. And I do this personally just to reward them and share this internally. So I think this is probably something that you need to keep doing during peak. You don't have to forget, who are we doing this for? And this is another element, right? Sometimes it's so easy for them to focus on a bad call they have, like a complaint with the customer. And I think this kind of like is a reality check saying, okay, every one bad call, you have 100 amazing customers sharing positive feedback on Trustpilot or CSAT, etc. So I think that is one element. Second one is consistent check-ins. During peak, I do this called virtual coffee with Maria, where I literally prepare myself an espresso for 15 minutes. Whoever wants to jump on a virtual call with me, we have an espresso together and we talk. And the rule number one is we don't talk about work. And my rule is and I gave this direction to my team leaders, I don't care how busy we are, you don't call them back on the phone. So this is also another way saying 15 minutes a week is just time for us. It doesn't matter what's happening out there, it's just time for us. So I think this is also something else. We do have in the company something called Nectar Points that you can give people and they translate into gift cards. You can buy Amazon gift cards or cinema gift cards. And we reward based on productivity. So we have weekly and monthly rewards for our team for productivity, quality, comments, the best comment from our customers. So this is also something that is partially monetary. It's very little, it's not £200, but definitely it's something that they appreciate. So we try to keep these things in place for the team.
Anyone else got any final questions before we move on? No? Okay, thank you so much, Maria. That was wonderful.